MashaAllah.
The first question, Shaykh Al-Kareem, is from last week, or we start with the ones from this week and then we go back based on a previous request you had. So this one is the following about ziyarah. Salams, respected. Salam alaikum, respected Shaykh.
Alaykum assalam wa
Is
rahmatullah.
there a way to ask a permission for ziyarah before traveling so we could at least be worthy of this privilege? How do we truly know that this is time for us to visit our beloved Imam alayhi salam, as the invitation is accepted per se? You know, how do we know that our invitation has been accepted, or we have an invitation for the Imam? How do we know that we have permission for ziyarah?
It's not easy to understand, even when you go to the shrine and ask for permission, how you know you are accepted or not. It's not easy, but maybe we can say, if you feel some kind of softness in your heart, if you feel that you are more spiritual, it's a sign that you are accepted. From distance, how we can find, when you see things are going well for your preparations, and not in the worldly sense, because the worldly sense sometimes you have challenges, but in the sense that you are getting ready spiritually, you are getting ready, and you feel a kind of thirst for ziyarah, maybe it can be a sign that you are accepted. But it's not easy, because we are sometimes so much influenced by other factors, because not just one factor. For example, sometimes I have so much of difficulty in life that for me it's very difficult to sense a kind of softness in my heart, because I have bombarded with difficulties. So therefore I don't say there is a definite sign, but if it's applicable to you, one sign can be your thirst, that you really want to go, you really want to change. Your akhlaq is, somehow softer, you are more kind.
The question is still on ziyarah from another fellow student, and the question goes as follows. Is there any benefit after salam? They say, is there any benefit in being physically in contact with the shrine? For example, kissing or holding the structure of the shrine.
The thing is that the main encounter is between our spirit and the spirit of Imam. But the body of Imam is also very blessed. And in some ziyarat we also mention that your ajsad and your arwah are pure. Therefore the place that they are buried is special, and the attention of the spirit of Imam to that place is also more than other places. I can visit Imam from distance, but if I can go there, there is more attention, there is more barakah, generally speaking. Although maybe there is someone that his ziyarah from distance is better than people's ziyarah when they are inside, but we are talking generally, everything being equal. When you are there, you have better exposure to the light of Imam, and your body and can benefit, your spirit can benefit. And it doesn't necessarily need to touch, but touching can also be useful, because then this is the way that with body and soul you are focused. But if for some reason it's not possible to touch, it's not that you would be necessarily deprived. It's also expression of also love. This is what I understand. Wallahu alam.
Thank you, Sheikhna.
Yeah.
There is a question here about the moral vices. The question says, are moral vices an expression of an unbalanced state of human faculties? For example, can a person suffer from deficiency and excess of the same faculty simultaneously? It means that they're both cowardly and aggressive. For example, when we talk about القوة الغضبية.
So how can someone have both additional and less from ghadab?
Sometimes, for
Because
example,
there's a spectrum.
You find that bullies tend to be very cowardly, actually, but at the same time very aggressive. Or do we mean that the other extreme so this is one example that we say that shaja'a, the extreme is ghada, is aggressivity. Maybe we say out of courage we become aggressive, but sometimes people are aggressive. Actually, they're not because they're very courageous. It's just because they're not out of courage. Maybe sometimes they say tahawwur, which is just recklessness, which is the extreme of shaja'a. But somehow, is it possible that somebody maybe at different times can be on both extremes of a particular human faculty?
You know, as conditions, as modes, as hal, it's possible. Sometimes a person, one day you are very brave, another day you are not brave. You know, it's possible. One day you are very generous, another day you are not generous. But if it has become malaka, if it has become established condition, like a kind of permanent condition, then wherever you are, it's not easily changing. But the only thing is that sometimes maybe someone is excessively, for example, exercising anger, and then when it comes to rationality and qawwiyya, aqila is less than normal. Because we have three faculties. Maybe in one someone is doing extra, in another one someone is doing less, and then it's combination of these three faculties that can bring lots of vices and virtues. It's not just 6 that, you know, ifrat and tafrit of each then becomes 6. No, there can be tens of, because they can be mixed, and depending on, you know, how much they are mixed, and then with other factors. So if you study, for example, Jama' al-Sa'adat, you see they would mention the razail or fazail of each faculty and when they are mixed. But for me, it seems not possible if you have malaka of any of these in a certain degree that it would be changeable so quickly.
Another question on ziyarah. Can you please elaborate on the extent to which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to visit the graves of the awliyaullah? How much of a command is there from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is it wajib upon us? Do we have any ayahs of the Quran or ahadith to support this?
For ziyarah?
Yes, ziyarah.
We have lots of hadiths about ziyarah, often ziyarah of mu'mineen. I think once I talked about it, I have some talks about this ziyarah of mu'mineen, let alone ziyarah of the Prophet and Imam. But I cannot say it's wajib, although sometimes it's close to wajib, because if someone altogether stops going for ziyarah, this can be a problem. But it's not like Hajj that we say you must go. as much as love requires, as much as iman requires. So you should give a response to this. But how many times to go, how often to go, how much spend on going, and how many days, etc., these are very much different. And there can be sometimes also other priorities. For example, I can go for ziyarah, I can go and visit my parents. I have to find a balance. Or for example, I can go every year for ziyarah, but there are people who need financial support to get married, for education, etc. So I should not just look at one thing, but everything being equal, we should go as much as possible, everything being equal, unless there are other priorities, other duties. Our heart should beat, and beats for that, and we should naturally go to because that's our nest. Our soul wants to go there, but we know we have responsibilities, and we cannot leave our places and all go there.
Thank you, Sheikh and Kareem. Inshallah, we covered quite a few questions. There's still more. We'll take them up next time.
Inshallah.
And in the interest of time, inshallah, we'll go towards readings and start